Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Beacon News. And today we're going to talk some more about this total eclipse and what this means for humanity, what it means for all of us. So, if you will bear with me just a moment, I want to share my screen with you. And we're going to start right here. We have an app that I have found, and I will put the link down below for all of you to see this app. This is where you can go and plug in your coordinates, your city or town, and state that you're in so that you can see how much in totality of the eclipse that you actually are going to be in your area or where the nearest place to you will be, if you want to go and see it in full totality. And I encourage everyone to be outdoors in the sunlight absorbing this energy as this is taking place because the more people that are out in this energy, really absorbing it, really letting it come into you, the better all of this is going to play out for all of us. Um, there are going to be changes that start to take place. They're already taking place, but this eclipse is a marker for us to understand and to know the signs, see the signs that are in the sky. Um, Now, there's a lot of people with the um, Christian understanding of this, and I'm not knocking Christians. I'm just saying that if we look at the wording in the Bible of these different things, they're actually very metaphorical. Okay. So a lot of people are worried that there's this 3 days of darkness, right? That comes with um, this particular eclipse event um, because of the comet that's coming, Pons P12, whatever. It's also known as the Devil's Comet. It's also known as the Phoenix. Um, I personally believe that it's one of the Kachinas that the Hopi uh, forewarn about, right, as a signifier, and that this 3 days of darkness may or may not be literal. And so I want you to think of it in a metaphoric sense of the word, similarly to how Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 3 days. I want you to think about this as a metaphor because obviously he was not in the belly of a whale for 3 days and survived. But in spirituality, when I teach people how to go within and look at their shadow self, look at their mirror side. Um, Typically, that's the same um, metaphorical explanation as the Christian version of looking within and repenting of your sins and getting right with God and getting right within yourself and being born again as a Christian, right? So this particular celestial event that's coming to pass for April 8th of 2024 is our opportunity to do collectively to do this shadow work so that we can allow the old self to die and rise again in the rebirth. And I think that's a really beautiful thing with this comet being called the phoenix because that's essentially the very same thing that the phoenix represents as well, right? Dying in the ashes and rising from them again. Same thing with Jesus and the dying of the 3 days and then resurrecting from the tomb. Metaphorically speaking, we all can do this. Spiritually speaking, we all have this ability and this capability within us. And this is what I try to champion people to do, to reckon with the shadow self, reckon with looking at yourself in the mirror, the hall of mirrors, right? And then seeing the things that you need to correct within yourself, being honest about it, being real. And that's a very hard thing to do. Very, very hard thing to do. And I think that this particular moment in time on April 8th is going to be a very poignant time where the people who haven't been willing to do this until now are now going to be forced to do this. And yes, there could very well be people who are crippled to their knees and struck with fear. But again, for your Christian undertones and your Christian teachings, remember that it says in Revelations that you are to stand with your feet planted firmly in your foundations of your faith. Walk in your faith. Okay. So I'm going to share the link for this because this is a very cool app to be looking at. And then I also want to share some evidence that I have for this being a larger significance than just an eclipse. And I mean, a lot of people are feeling that, noticing that, and talking about that. But I want to bring forth my own evidence in this because you see, a year ago, as you can see,
Hi guys.
on the bottom of
So
the screen, it says, I made this video 1 year ago. Something had blacked out the sun 1 year ago. Well, this just happened again um, a couple of weeks ago, and I did a video on that as well. So I just want to show you briefly.
I'm one of those people that watches the solar observatories, the transition of different planets, the meteors, all those things, earthquakes, volcanoes, the whole deal. Because for me, all of
Quit
those
it.
factors are important, including the warming temperatures of the oceans, um, the position of magnetic north, the whole deal adds up and makes one big picture for all of us
Shh,
who
shh, shh.
firmly believe that it's scientific fact that we are in a binary solar system and that what our ancients were trying to warn us about is this impending second solar system coming near us. Now, I'm going to show you some evidence that there is interaction in our inner solar system now, on this side of the Kuiper belt, right? Um, Mars and beyond in just a moment. But first, I want to say to you, I don't want anything that I'm about to show you to create fear or worry or stress in you in any way, shape, or form. If anything, I should hope that it educates you, enlightens you, wakes you up to the reality of the solar system that we really are in and the facts of who you are. Because this matters, guys. I know you're probably tired of hearing me say it, but we really are who we've been waiting for. You just don't know that yet. You need to learn your abilities. You need to learn who you truly are so that you can level up enough that all of this stuff that's coming at us can be dealt with accordingly. Because yes, we can do things that would alter a storm, alter a person's health, alter what happens to our planet because we can affect our planet's vibration. We do it every day. We just don't realize we're doing it. We're symbiotic with this planet. This planet is sentient in that sense.
And not only are we symbiotic with the planet, but this matrix that everybody talks about that we're in and we're trying to figure out how to get out of, we created the matrix. We did it. We're the creators. They, the overlords, the 1%, the elite, the Illuminati, whoever you want to call them, whatever label you want to put on them, they plant the seed of thought that this is how this looks. And then we either believe it and we create that, or we don't believe it and we create something different. But every single day of our lives, us human beings, God's children, we're creating it. They are not God's children. They are someone else. We are the creators. We have this in us. And I'm actually going to show you in the next podcast that I do, I have found the Bible verses to prove this, that God says so himself, that we have this power within us.
And I know that a lot of this seems like that new age bullshit, but I'm telling you, I'm basing this on scientific facts. Okay. So bear with me, and I'm going to show you something blacked out the sun today. Hold on, before I share my screen. Um, I was tooling around at all of the observatories today, like I normally do periodically. And I didn't see anything of any significance, and this one still won't fully load. And this is exactly the clip that I'm going to show you in a separate video that my neighbor down the road did today, Miss Gina Honey. So you can see there's nothing significant going on here at all, right? Nothing at all that looks like any big deal.
Okay.
Now, this is the exact same clip, AIA 304, set at the exact same time as Miss Gina Honey's. Hers is from the SDO. It's an AIA 304 for January 20th of 23 at 7:43 Universal Time, which if you do the conversion chart, 7:24 Universal Time is 2:24 a.m. So this took place at 2:24 this morning. Now I'm going to play this through and let you watch. It's only 1 minute and 46 seconds long. Something very large came in between the Earth and the Sun. And this observatory software that's in the satellites up there. This is actually from NASA's I forget which one it is. INSW or ISWA. I'll have to look in a minute and I'll show you for sure. Something is, she's reversing it and then going forward with it again to show you. This is the actual video clip from NASA's website. And you can see that it has very sharp shape to it there. It's not like a good smooth edge. So it's not a completely round celestial body. Whatever it is, it's got large jags or filament.
Filament. See, just like the sun has filament around it, and it's not a perfect sphere. This was our binary star that came in between our main star and us, or rather, our main star and this observatory. Okay? This solar observatory that NASA has. Now, that is significant evidence a year ago that we're in this binary star system. This happened again just a couple of weeks ago, and I did a video. You can go back and watch it. I think I even titled it the same as this one, that something blacked out the sun. And I'm not showing you this for you to be in fear. On the contrary, I am trying to educate you to how our solar system works and empower you to how we truly work so that you understand who you are and what you can do to change this. Okay? And I will provide all of the links down below for all of this. I want you to also see this one for a moment from Mr. BB333, Mr. MBB333, because this too is significant and plays a part in all of this to show you that it is biblical. It absolutely is a biblical historical event that we are experiencing and living through. But it's not to be feared because it's not the end of the world. We won't die, and we will be on the other side of this to build the world we want. Okay? The world we want to see. It'll be up to us. This next 7 years, this is our opportunity. This is our golden ticket to change the way this world operates and make it operate in a beautiful way that is symbiotic with all of us. Okay?
Polarity, and it's negative, positive, and man, that is some heavy duty mixing right there. That's going to produce some storms,
That's
guys.
the sun that he's
And
showing
so
right
is
now,
this
but
one
I
too.
actually
They're
want
literally
you to see the
touching
significance
about the time of this
of all of the
exposure.
cities and towns
Look at that!
that are
Wow!
going to be
And I think that
affected,
one already has produced a solar
and that's
flare,
coming up.
and they're only going to produce more. These are going to be hyperactive regions. Wow! So look for a big uptick in solar activity. Speaking of solar, the solar eclipse, 19 days, 14 hours away from probably
It's
the
actually
eclipse of a
16 days as of
generation.
today.
I heard something today about the National Guard being deployed in certain locations for the eclipse.
And they are.
What? Are you serious right now?
We're
The
going to talk
National
about that in a
Guard? What do they
minute.
need the National Guard for? Um, but what I wanted to talk about during, you know, the eclipse back in 2017, as it went through the central United States, I noticed along the way, and a lot of other people did too, there were a lot of towns that had like biblical references to it. A lot of the towns were Saint, like Joseph, Saint Andrews, Saint Mark. They had biblical overtones to them, you know. And there's a lot of towns along the way, and here's the shadow as it's going through Texas and Oklahoma, and as it's going through Texas, Oklahoma, and right through the central east central part of the United States, some of the names of these towns that are in the path of totality are, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You seriously cannot make this stuff up. And I don't know who makes up the names for these towns, but I'm going to share a few of the names of these towns that are in the path of 100% totality, not outside the path, you know, in 90 or 95. I mean, that's stretching it. I'm keeping it inside the path of totality, which would be right in here. Any town inside the, and this is just for fun, guys. That's all. It's just odd that some of this stuff up. I have them in. They're actually
I want you to take note as he names some of these names, how many of these names within the United States are actually Egyptian names. And some of them that he does not name, like for the state of Indiana, where I am, he mentions Rapture and Nineveh in Indiana, but also there's a town called Palmyra that is also an Egyptian name. Um, and I believe I still have the video that I'm going to show you in a little while, a short clip of where this gentleman has realized that 7 years from now, Africa will have the very exact same cross happen of double eclipses that will be 7 years apart, just like ours here in the United States, the one 2017, the one 2024. Um, they too will expect to have two solar eclipses 7 years apart that will crisscross, and they go across, guess where? Egypt.
they're in alphabetical order. Here we go. Bethlehem, Arkansas, right in the middle. And all this can be confirmed. You can confirm this on Google Earth. If I did it on Google Earth, the live stream would be about 8 hours long by the time I typed them all in. So, and I was going to try to go ahead and pin them on.
And actually, that app that I showed you at the beginning of this podcast is the easiest way for you to look and check all of these places. It's very quick and easy to use. And you can just type in some of these names and see exactly where they are in the path of totality.
On Google Earth, but I thought I would just do it like this. How about this?
You could please shut that door.
Once again, who makes up the names of these towns? Are you serious right now? Check it out. Cash or credit in the path of 100% totality. You can't make this stuff up. In the path of 100%. Ben Franklin, Texas. Can't make it up, man. Cash credit. We got two Dallases. Dallas, Arkansas. Dallas, Texas. Here we go. Back to Arkansas. Check it out. Again, this is just for fun. Alpha. Alpha, Arkansas, right? Okay. Now check this out. We're going to go from Arkansas to Illinois. Check it out. Omega. How about that? Omega, Illinois, Alpha, Arkansas are in the path of totality. 100%. You can't make this stuff up, man. Here's another good one for you. Check it out.
Now, there are a lot of people who don't understand what it is that I'm doing with how I teach and how I preach. I'm telling you, this is our moment in time. And this is the second coming of Christ. But this time, it's Christ consciousness. The signs are always in the sky. The Bible tells you that. I read the Bible. I know the Bible. I understand it. I understand the metaphors and the symbolism. And I'm here to help you decode and understand that from a fresh perspective so that you can see for yourself just how pivotal and evolutionary this is of an opportunity for us. This is not something to be feared. provided you are moving in the right direction with your life and your soul path, you know? Um, People that are not moving that direction are going to have a harder time with this transition. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I'm not going to say it's doom and gloom and people are going to, those are the people that get picked off and die, or that all the good people get picked off and get to be spared from whatever. No, it ain't like that at all. That part of the lesson is inaccurate. That part of the lesson was put in place to keep you in fear and control. And I've known my whole life that I am here to help finish Jesus' true message, that you are more than you were told you are. And we can change this. We can take full advantage of this. Similarly to the way all of the black hats, if you will, are using sacred symbolism and sacred geometry and the sacred numbers and twisting it for themselves. You and I can understand that and learn what they're doing, and then we can flip the script, flip the mirror, and we can run with it and change this world for the better.
Check it out.
So we're just going to do a few more of these, and then I'm moving on to the next thing because I have a lot
My
to show
friend
you
Kevin
today.
would appreciate this. On the way to Damascus, and Damascus is in the path of totality. Damascus, Arkansas. What? Yeah, sure enough is. Another one in Arkansas. Check it out. Again, this is just for fun. Egypt, Arkansas. Who makes up the names of these towns? Check this out. Jerusalem, in the path of totality, 100%, no joke. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Jonah, Ark, Rapture, yeah, they're all in the path of totality.
They indeed are. And 2 of 7 cities called Nineveh are in the path of totality. The other 5 are on the outskirts of it, but they are also right there in line with where this is traveling. And for me, this was a huge signifier. This whole knowing the names of the places and where they're at. And as you've noticed, he keeps mentioning Arkansas. I was actually raised in Arkansas. I didn't know that those names of those places existed other than Damascus. I did know about Damascus, Arkansas, but those other ones, I didn't know those names as a child. And I lived there for 13 years of my life. I was literally raised there from the time I was 6 months old until I was 13. And I thought I knew everything about Arkansas that you could possibly know, because they, in that state, they really drill Arkansas history into you. They really want to be thorough and in depth. And so I do know a lot about Arkansas, but I did not know all of those town names. Um, but being raised in Arkansas and knowing that I came here with this mission and telling my parents this as we lived in Arkansas, that there would come a time in my late 40s that we start calling something the Great Awakening, and that something big and celestial is going to happen that's going to catapult human evolution to a whole new level. And we're in it, folks. We're in it right now. And we're in it to win it if you know how to play the game. And that is where I am important. Other than that, everything that I can already do, I learned it so that I can teach it to you because you can do it too. Okay? My piece of the puzzle matters here. This is where it matters. Now, I'll share the link for this. We're going to move on. This is only 3 minutes long. Now I just want to pause that right there for a moment because 1812 is a significant date. What happened in 1812? The New Madrid earthquake. The New Madrid woke up and the Mississippi ran backwards. Okay. This comet came through when those earthquakes happened. Comets, asteroids, meteors, the moon, different planetary alignments all affect planet Earth, and they all affect people. Solar storms affect people and the planet. God created all of these things so that we would have markers, and those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear will notice the markers and know what to do. Now, at this current time, we're talking pole shifts, earthquakes, all kinds of things that could pop off and happen simultaneously. And rather than be in fear, I want you to be in power. Because how do these things happen? Because the Earth's shields are weaker. So, if you and I understand that we have the power to not only shield ourselves, but also put the shield back around our planet and hold it stable, we can prevent cataclysm. We don't have to be out there trying to be superheroes, moving a comet away from us, or running in fear and hiding somewhere in a cave. We can stand firm in our foundation of our faith with zero doubt and put the shield back around our planet and hold it strong. And myself and many other people like me are already planning on doing that. But the more we have, the better that's going to be for us. Everybody knows the saying, there's power in numbers. This is a time and an opportunity for the collective to come together. And that is how you walk in knowing thyself. That is how you walk with your true Christ consciousness, knowing that you are a part of God and you have this power bestowed upon you. Oh my God.
Comet
Was I not even sharing this?
after an absence. They have amazed astronomers and the public alike with their long, striking tails and fuzzy glowing head. One such comet is Comet Brooks, a giant space snowball 3 times the size of Mount Everest. It takes 71 years to orbit the sun. Discovered in 1812 by an astronomer known as Joan Pans, it has visited us ever since. The comet returned in 1954. It was at this return that the comet showed its true nature. Comet Brooks had an outburst, which made it temporarily brighter than normal. This caused the comet to have a horseshoe shape. These outbursts are created when an explosion of frozen material erupts from the comet's surface. This temporarily expands the comet's coma or atmosphere, making it suddenly appear brighter. Since the comet's discovery in 1812, it has been seen on 2 occasions in 1884 and 1954. The comet, which takes 71 years to orbit the sun, will return in April 2024. The comet will also potentially be visible to the naked eye in April.
I just want to pause that and let you see this date one more time because this is significant to me. This is part of what God told me.
In April. Okay, I know they're excited, but we need to answer the questions. Why is the comet nicknamed the Devil Comet? And will it hit us? Comet Brooks, after an absence of 71 years, got recovered in 2020 as a very faint object. Since then it has brightened. Then on July 20th, 2023,
I think I didn't.
the comet, which had a brightness of Mag 16, suddenly had an outburst. The outburst made the comet 100 times brighter, transforming it from a dim object, only visible with big telescopes, into an easy telescopic object with a brightness of Mag 11. During the outburst, a cloud of material separated the comet's tail so that it looked like a horseshoe or appeared to have a pair of horns. This is why it is called the Devil Comet. Comet Ponsbrooks also had an outburst in October 2023, still showing its distinctive horns. Now, though the comet no longer has that shape, it still goes by the nickname Devil Comet. Now, our second question, will the Devil Comet hit Earth? Simple answer, no. I know the mass meteor is just...
No, it will not hit the Earth, but I do want to back this up so that you see this date that I need to speak about. Because I was told, here it is. I was actually told very loudly by God, like he often speaks to me, very loudly and assertively, that April 21st will be a significant date. April 21st. So we're going to see this on April 8th. I personally do not expect anything significant to happen until April 21st. I feel like on April 21st, we very well could have potential earthquake activity. So I'm not talking one day of focusing on keeping the shield around the planet up. I'm talking from right now until the end of the year, focusing on this daily. Every one of us have to focus on this daily. Because April 21st was the date that I was shown that would be significant in our history. And it will be history because we will survive and we will live on beyond it. We're not going anywhere. But April 21st could very well be our 1812. Okay? Do you get me? And if the New Madrid wakes up, you know it's called the Sleeping Giant. All hell breaks loose. And when all hell breaks loose, that predicted Navy map that I've also done videos on comes true. I was shown 2 scenarios by God in my vision of all of this happening. I was shown 2 scenarios. The first one was horrendous. It was biblical proportions, like Noah's flood. It was Atlantis sinking type of proportions. Devastating destruction. I was also shown a second outcome that's possible. That if enough of us are awake to our potentials, our possibilities, our abilities, our God-given gifts, natural, nature-given gifts, and we wake up to that and we truly know thyself, we can change this. I'm rooting for option 2. So I'm going to keep talking until I'm blue in my face and I get enough of you listening and waking up and learning who in heaven's name you really are. Because that is my mission and that's why I'm here. Now, he keeps referring to this comet as the Devil's Comet. But if you look at this picture here, this shows it with wings. This is why it's also called the Phoenix. This is why the Hopi referred to it as a planetoid, planetary-looking object with wings. They speak of the Kachinas, and the Kachinas have wings. These are our harbingers that are coming. A harbinger is a warning, an omen, a sign in the sky. Do you take heed to the sign or not?
shape. It still goes by the nickname Devil Comet. Now, our second question, will the Devil Comet hit Earth? Simple answer, no. I know the mass meteor is just tricking you to get them popular. Comet Ponsbrooks will be at a fair distance to us and will not pose any threat to us. Now, final question. Will the comet be visible with the naked eye? Well, during early April 2024, it showed hit a brightness of magnitude 4, meaning it should be visible to the unaided eye from dark skies. But as the comet will be low in the twilight sky, it will be quite difficult to pick out, especially if you live in the city. If you know where to look, the comet should be visible as a dim, fuzzy glow in binoculars. To find the comet, I have wrote a list of astronomy apps in the description.
And again, I will share all of these links with you in my description box so that you can go and check out the rest of their information because it is pertinent and important. However, I want to reiterate what I have said to you, that I do believe that this comet, this eclipse, this particular planetary alignment that's happening all at the same time with our binary star coming into play and bringing in its own celestial bodies that orbit it, that this could very well kick off earthquakes and such if we do not know ourselves enough to thwart it. Now, I'm not trying to put fear in you. On the contrary, I am trying to light a fire under your ass to get you to wake up. Okay, now let me see this one here. I think I just want to start this about right here. We're only going about 9 minutes in.
As we're witnessing, I'll unveil the evidence shortly in this broadcast. And trust me, it's so mind-boggling, it could reshape your entire outlook on life. So stick with me till the end, because every piece of information I'm about to share is crucial to reaching that pivotal moment. To comprehend the significance of these celestial events, let's first revisit the very purpose behind the creation of the sun, moon, and stars. In Genesis 1:14, it stated, "Then God said, 'Let the lights be in the firmament of the heavens, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.'" Now the Hebrew word for seasons here is moadim, which doesn't refer to the usual seasons like spring or fall. Instead, it directly points to God's appointed feast days: Passover, unleavened bread, first fruits, Shavuot or Pentecost, trumpets, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. Here's the incredible insight. The primary purpose behind placing the celestial bodies in the heavens was to establish rendezvous points with the divine. Paul underscores this in 1 Thessalonians, reminding us that while the timing of the Lord's arrival remains a mystery, we're not left in the dark regarding the broader times and seasons. These appointed moments are intricately intertwined with prophecy, revolving around the past and future comings of the Messiah. Moreover, these celestial bodies serve a dual function. They act as signals, providing us with warnings and forecasts. In Hebrew, the term signs implies more than mere astronomical phenomena. It signifies a deliberate communication, an omen with significance. They mark pivotal moments, such as when the Messiah walked the earth, first as a humble shepherd, sacrificing himself for his flock, and later as a triumphant king, seeking to redeem his beloved. Consider the profound events surrounding his crucifixion. As he breathed his last, the sky darkened, an earthquake rocked the land, and the temple veil tore asunder, symbolizing the end of an era. Remarkably, Revelation 6:12 echoes this imagery, depicting a great earthquake, a darkened sun, and a blood-red moon, a vivid portrayal of cosmic upheaval and divine intervention. The connection between earthquakes and solar-lunar eclipses is undeniable, signifying moments of profound significance and divine intervention. These cosmic events serve as celestial markers, heralding both earthly cataclysms and heavenly decrees. Zechariah 14.
I just want to pause right here for a moment to say to you, I was just called to say, the reason for the two scenarios and the reason that everyone innately believes that when cataclysms happen upon the earth, that this is punishment of God, that this is God clearing out the bad and ushering in some new. which I personally believe is true, um, we're given that second option so that that doesn't happen by giving us the opportunity to grow up, to level up, to evolve into who we are meant to be and come out of this amnesia that we've been in, this constant sleep state, sleepwalking state that we have all been in for whatever reasons. We don't even need to focus on the reasons anymore of why that is that we're asleep. We only need to focus on waking up. That's where our attention needs to go, because where your attention goes, energy flows. And when we wake up to who we are, that automatically makes us more connected, not just to each other and the planet, but to God, to our creator, right? Which is what he wants. He wants his children back. He wants his children to come home to him, just as I would want my children to come back to me. It's no different. So you're given a second option. We're being given an opportunity to do something different this time so that we don't have to have cataclysms like they did in the days of Atlantis or Noah's flood. And I believe we can do it.
6. 7 paints a vivid picture of a day shrouded in darkness, where even the celestial lights dim. Joel 2:10 echoes this imagery, describing a world where the sun, moon, and stars lose their radiance. Throughout the Bible, such celestial phenomena are consistently linked with significant events, often marking pivotal moments in human history. It's a recurring theme. Solar and lunar eclipses are not harbingers of good tidings. Interestingly, this belief isn't confined to the pages of Scripture alone. Many cultures, including some Native American traditions, regard total solar eclipses as potent symbols, often associated with foreboding or heralding periods of transition and renewal. As we navigate through history, we observe these cosmic occurrences aligned with critical junctures in humanity's journey, particularly those intertwined with the prophesied end times. So, stick with me till the end, because I'm about to unveil a remarkable revelation. The
remarkable revelation that I want to unveil to you is that I was told 3 key phrases as a very small child to remember for this time that we're in now. We are who we've been waiting for, the Great Awakening, and the world as we know it is about to end. It's our choice what that means. It's our choice. We have free will. Do you want to surrender to it and let cataclysms happen and think that it's just God's wrath and we deserve it? Or do you want to repent, level up, get right with yourself, truly know thyself, and make this a smoother transaction for everyone? I think when we think about all of the people that we love and we know that we don't want to see suffer, that have no fight left in them because they're old or are so small and young that they don't know how, it becomes more of a duty to us. And maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need to feel like it's your duty, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of anybody choosing it for themselves, which is sad to me and sad to God, because God wants you to love yourself. And so do I. That's why I teach self-love. But if you won't do it for you, do it for the people you love. Learn to know thyself so that we can change this together.
direct correlation between the eclipses of 2017 and 2024 and the prophesied Gog and Magog conflict. It's a testament to the divine intricacy of God's plan, scripted from the beginning of time and etched into the very fabric of the night sky above us. Now let's take a moment to explore one of the most captivating celestial phenomena, the tetrad blood-red lunar eclipses. These rare occurrences hold a profound significance in the tapestry of end-time prophecies. Picture this: 4 consecutive lunar eclipses over the span of 2 years, a concept originally highlighted by Mark Biltz. What truly piques our interest is when these tetrad eclipses coincide with the sacred biblical holidays of Passover and Sukkot for 2 consecutive years. That's when we know it's time to pay close attention. As the Native Americans aptly suggest, these moments often signal the potential for wars and renewal, a theme that resonates throughout history. Since the time of Christ, there have only been 8 sets of these blood-red moons, and each has left an indelible mark on the world stage. They serve as either precursors to significant events or as confirmatory signs, affirming the profound alignment with God's divine calendar. Consider this: in 162 AD, during Passover, a set of these lunar eclipses appeared, coinciding with Rome's initiation of war against the Parthians. Similarly, in 795, eclipses graced the biblical holidays of Passover and Sukkot, heralding the commencement of the Saxon War. Perhaps one of the most renowned instances occurred in 1492, when a blood-red eclipse coincided with Passover, mere weeks before the Catholic monarchs of Spain launched the notorious Spanish Inquisition, forcing the expulsion of Jews from the country. These historical vignettes underscore the profound impact of these celestial alignments on the course of human events. It's a fascinating piece of history often overlooked in American textbooks. Christopher Columbus set sail on August 2nd, precisely the date designated for the expulsion of Jews from Spain. And here's a curious twist. Among his crew were predominantly Jewish sailors. Why? Because, as some theories suggest, Christopher Columbus himself may have been of Jewish descent. It's a revelation that reframes the narrative of America's birth in a whole new light, doesn't it? Interestingly, Columbus's journey didn't just coincide with historical events, it also aligned with significant biblical festivals. He arrived in America during the Feast of Sukkot, a time traditionally associated with Christ's birth, and envisioned as the setting for the grand marriage supper of the Lamb.
Okay, that's about as far as we're going to go with that. And if you want to hear the rest of it, again, the link will be down below because I want to move on. Lots of people are hearing sounds in the sky.
Some claim this to be noises from
Let
some
me pause
other
this for a second. Lots of people are hearing sounds in the sky, including Palmyra, Indiana, that I've already mentioned. And the reason for that is, again, another signifier of things to come.
worldly aircraft. Some claim this to be the trumpet of judgment. Some claim this to be part of some sort of malfunctioning government equipment. What's strange about this is the comments from so many people claiming to have heard the exact same sound in different countries all over the world. Take a listen and let me know what you think.
Lighten up now.
That's crazy, man. Man, that's crazy. It's like a trumpet. It's like a judgment trumpet.
What do you think is going on here? Because I can't shake the idea that
Okay, so again, we have to think about logically what is really going on, not just take it from our biblical teachings, right? Our Christian teachings or whatever faith you come from, because those teachings have lots of undertones of fear and doom and gloom and punishment. Okay. And there was a reason for that. And it wasn't God's reason, it was man's reason. Okay. Keep that in mind. Don't get it messed up and twisted, because God is a forgiving God. He's a forgiving Father. He loves us unconditionally. Yes, all parents have to, at times, do things to teach their children to learn better. But that's the whole point of all of this, wanting you to learn better. That's why there's people like me on this planet right now talking to you, so that you can learn better and do better and be better. Now, I want you to just quickly, we're going to go through a couple of people's testimony, if you will. Actually, this is not even the one. This is the one I wanted to do right here.
Vindication is
right here. Testimonies of dreams, because I'm not the only one who has been spoken to by God and shown these things that are coming to pass. But I may be one of the few who actually understand the message in totality. That we are meant to see these things so that we can share with the world just how special and loved we really are.
and constellations. And I was describing an experience that I just had in prayer. And I knew that something could be unlocked in the heavens if I focused my prayers rightly. And there was just a sense in the dream that even though others had approached this whole thing differently, I was specifically supposed to focus on the Lord, on Jesus, on the creator of the heavens. And I knew that this was key in connecting heaven and earth. And so I had done this through prayer. And when I did it, something got triggered and activated because the heavens came alive. Because my focused declarations were to the Lord and to the Creator, I saw things just start happening in the heavens. I saw 2 different falling stars. I saw fireworks start in different places. I saw other things move and shift. I could tell that it was because of my focused prayers that something had been activated. And so I was so excited about this display of God that I was telling my friends, and I wanted to write some kind of prayer for others because there was some kind of big event coming that everyone was paying attention to, and I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity that could be used to see what God wanted to say. And so that's how I woke up. And immediately upon waking, I felt like this was an invitation to prayer. I mean, I immediately thought about the eclipse. If there's any big event, that's talking about heavenly things, it must be that. And yet this whole call to pray, because in the dream, that's what I was left with, is that there was something, some directed prayers that were going to be key in what was going to take place. And initially, even by the scriptures talking about the heavens, declare the glory of God, just the reality, stars are alive. Anything that God creates has life. It's his life in them, and they speak. And this sense of just that joining of heaven and earth and declaring the glory of the Lord, because especially globally right now, there are many spiritual adversaries who are speaking much different things
Yes.
to creation and even to the heavens.
Yes.
And so this is, part of the charge is that we are charged to declare his glory.
Yes. And that is the whole key point here. Our prayers of thankfulness, gratitude, and glory to the Most High, our Creator, for giving us, bestowing in us the power and the ability and the wisdom to know thyself, the free will to choose. Do we stand firmly in our faith or do we waver in fear? Okay, so I'm actually going to move on because this is running kind of long. I do hope that you will listen to the rest of this. I'm going to share a link to this, but I'm not going to play it. This is, again, another person who has had the same vision dreams as many others. Now, mine was a waking vision. I was not asleep when I saw mine. I was fully awake. But many people have been shown this in their dreams. And I just want to show some examples of that this has been shown to many to prepare for this. Again, this preacher had a prophetic dream and he has a great message. I really hope that you listen to this one in the link below. because he speaks of the Phoenix rising. He speaks of the opportunity for this to be a rebirth of America. And we all know that whatever happens in America happens to the rest of the world, guys. We're the way showers. We're the hope for the whole world. That's an important message. A very important message. Okay. Sorry, I didn't share the tab to let you see the preacher. Okay. And then I have, again, another one. Who was shown through a dream. And again, they're all calling it the rapture. They're all calling it the end of the world because they have that Christian teaching only, right? They haven't fully waken up to who they are. So this is the only language they have to describe this stuff. All right. Don't allow the fear in from it, though. Don't allow it to make you feel fearful just because they use the words rapture. Now, I want to move on to exactly what our governments are doing to prepare for this. This is Sarah Huckabee of Arkansas. And we're not going to play the whole thing because it's 24 minutes long. But the rundown and the gist of it is they're going to tell you themselves they've been planning for this eclipse for 2 years. For 2 years. The government knows something, right? They know something. This is not just a tourist thing. This is not just people traveling to different areas to view an eclipse. I live very near Louisville, Kentucky, where Thunder Over Louisville happens every year, and it's one of the biggest fireworks shows in the world. And we don't go to those kind of extremes, this level of preparation for Thunder Over Louisville, nor does Louisville, Kentucky go to this type of extreme and level of preparedness for the Derby, which again is the biggest Derby, at least in all of America. And I'm pretty sure it's a big to do to the whole freaking world because people come from internationally, for the Derby, for the Kentucky Derby, from all over the world. And then you've got all of the famous people, the celebrities that come, and it's like droves and droves and droves of people. And we don't have this level of preparedness. They have National Guard in place. They have at every rest stop throughout the whole state of Arkansas, they've got food, water, and emergency medical supply stations, complete with gasoline if you run out of gas. They have people from NASA that are going to be there. They have nuclear physicists that are going to be there. Like, what's going on here, really, that they think may go down? And they're not hinging on you waking up. They're not counting on you to know that we can help lessen the impact of anything that comes at us. So they're preparing for the worst. And I'm trying to teach you to hope for the best. And to not just have hope, but to have tools in your pocket, in your arsenal, to make sure it comes out better. Okay? And again, I'll share the link. I'm not going to play the video because it's just way too long to do all of that. And I think that's where I'll leave it for now, because my next video podcast that I want to do is showing you the biblical scripture to help you to understand and wake up to who you are, because it's in the Bible. It just wasn't taught to us. Okay? And I'm going to show you. So stay strong. Don't be in fear. Don't worry about it. Focus on it, yes. Focus on learning more about the events to unfold and who you are. And I'm going to be right here with you, teaching you and showing you how the whole way. And until next time, be well and be blessed in love and light.